Hey guys, good to see you. Good to see you. To see you nice. And it is nice to see you. Good to see you guys, even though I can't see you. Still nice. Not long for the streaming me again, guys. I just thought I'd do a video since I won't be on in the afternoon. I'll be on at 11 p.m. at night, GMT. 11:30 p.m. GMT tonight. So I just thought I'd put this out as a video and get it out as a preliminary ASAP. It's a 19-minute video-ish on a channel called Farrell McGuire, and he does stuff about everything. The dead internet. This is about the one we're doing is about the witching hour, 3 a.m. the witching hour. You know? Now, saying about demonic activity being more active at 3 a.m. Me, I think demonic activity is active at any time. I don't think they need any special time. Yes, it's meant to be an inversion of when Christ was meant to be crucified at 3 p.m. It's an inversion of that, 3 a.m. But I suppose there's other reasons for it as well. Your body resting at 3 a.m. and stuff like that. I don't know. But demons don't need a time to come out. They'll come out at any bloody time, you know. It's just how you deal with them. Being delivered in Jesus' name. It's what you need. Delivered in Jesus' name if you've got demons below it. Simple. Anyway, this is the guy's channel I'm on about. Right, it's Farrell McGuire. I want to do some more of his stuff. He's obviously got quite a lot. He's got 215,000 subs. Now, the video I'm doing is from about a year ago. It's this one, 3 a.m. The witching hour. Why do we fear it? Fear 3 a.m. So that one. I mean, we shouldn't fear 3 a.m. Yes, they use it. All the idiots and all that use it as an inversion of Christ's crucifixion at 3 p.m. But we've got no reason to fear 3 a.m. But I do admit at 3 a.m. in the morning outdoors and stuff, it does seem a bit liminal, a bit different. In fact, I think it's better. It's quieter. There's nobody about. It's kind of peaceful. But yeah, he's got loads of stuff, you know. I dare say he's not a Christian or anything, but I'd like to check out a lot of his stuff and maybe do a stream on him and that, you know, because he checks out AI, checks out culty stuff, liminal spaces, going out of bounds in Google Street View. Ooh, that'd be interesting. Going out of bounds in Google Street View. I'll have to check that one out. We'll have to check that out as a little stream. It's only 30 minutes long, that one. And he's obviously checked people out from the internet, vile. Anyway, it's the 3 a.m. one I want to do. This is his channel. I will put the link in the description for his channel or the video, one or the other, or both, I don't know. But yeah, let's get on with it. Let's check the video. Like I said, myself, I don't think demons need a witching hour, you know, to come out or anything. But I do admit maybe a lot of things kind of happen at that time because it's a scary time. Because everything's quiet, everything's dark, it's peaceful to the point of you can hear the silence. I suppose that can be a bit uncanny sometimes. I mean, I'm used to 3 a.m. because I'm always up at 3 a.m. I mean, it's past the witching hour. It's now 4:06, so. Okay, I'm past it, but I see 3 a.m. all the time, and it's never scary to me. But I suppose if I woke up from sleeping, having a good night's sleep or whatever, at 3 a.m. and I had a bad dream, scary dream, it would be a little freaky because it's very quiet at that time. You've got no TV on around about you, no ambient noise or anything like that, and you go outside, it's very, very still. But anyway, that's 4 minutes, and we haven't even looked at the video. Let's have a look at it again. It's a reaction. 19 minutes long, and I'll put his link in the description. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get it on. Oh. See what he's trying to do with it. The intro. He's trying to make it a bit ominous. He's in bed at 3 a.m. in the morning. 3 a.m. in the morning, up to 3 a.m. in the morning, but you know, that kind of 80s buzzy kind of 80s 90s public broadcast announcement type music, you know, that type of analog type horror, like British broadcast, public announcement broadcasting kind of thing from the 80s and 90s. You see a lot of horror to do with that nowadays, analog horror, it's called, and that kind of reminds me on this. Yeah. Again, that ominous music. See, like that does remind me of when I was a kid, and if I got some sleep and I woke up with a little bit of the street light shining through the window and stuff like that, or a little bit of light coming somewhere, maybe from the moon, because I used to see the moon quite clearly in my bedroom as a kid. If you woke up at that time in the morning from a fright or something, it would feel ominous. It would feel scary. You might start imagining things, if you've got a vivid imagination, especially if you've just watched a horror movie or something. So I do agree, it can be a scary time. I'm used to it because I'm always up, but it can be a scary time. Ooh. So take it, I'll say 3. 3 or 2. 3 or 2.
I think I'm going to stay up for a bit. At least for another 58 minutes or so. Let's talk about The Witch.
Joe, when I watched this, because I only watched a few minutes of it the other night, when he said I'm going to stay up for a little bit, I knew he was going to say 58 minutes because of the clock, obviously. I knew it, obviously. But it was just so, like, I'm so intuitive. On you go, PJ. I'm only joking.
It is the hour between night and dawn. It is the hour when most people die, when sleep is deepest, when nightmares are most real.
The witching hour is the hour between 3 and 4 a.m. This is a time when the veil that separates our world from the supernatural is at its thinnest.
And they do say that. And I dare say that the people that want to fear you want you to believe that. Like I say, for me, demonic activity, demons will attack at any time. They're trying to influence you anytime. They're not fussy, but I can understand what that time in the morning seems to be when there's most activity, because that's when people will be more scared. Because of the ambient, because of the time, because of the stillness, because of the dark, whatever.
Has roots in the Catholic Church. This is a time when...
Of course it would have roots in the Catholic Church. Of course.
When the risk of demonic possession is at its highest. It's also a time when most people usually die in their sleep. And it's when most alien abductions supposedly happen. My introduction to...
It's at the time most people die in their sleep. I didn't know that. But it's understandable, because it's like a lot of people are asleep at that time. I'm not, but a lot of people are asleep at that time. So, like, you say you went to bed at 9, 10. It's 5 hours into your sleep. You know what I mean? 5 hours, 6 hours into your sleep. Depends what time you go to bed, obviously. So, like, you've got a few hours left to wake up. So it's kind of halfway through the night. So if you're going to wake up, it would be then. For being scared, But when it comes to deaths, a lot of deaths happen in the sleep. So it's kind of halfway through the night. They fell asleep, died natural cause or whatever. It's understandable why people would die at that time, because a lot of people die in their sleep. Yeah.
The witching hour was in the 2005 movie The Exorcism of...
Huh? That's literally tonight's movie. This must have been what put it in my head then, because I've seen a few minutes of this. That's literally what must have been put in my head. This. Wow. So that's what tonight's movie is, After the Chosen. Exorcism of Emily Rose. Based on a true story, but it was a Catholic trying to do an exorcism. It didn't work, obviously, because it's a ritual he's doing. You might as well be putting demons in there, not taking them out, because that's not going to work as a ritual. Deliverance, they need just in Jesus' name, go, flee. Simple. I'm not saying it's simple to do. I'm just saying you have to have faith in Christ, and you have to ask Christ to do it.
Emily Rose. I was 14 when I saw this movie, and it scared me quite a bit.
It scared me a little bit. It's not that I don't know what happens. It's certain positions and all that. When the guy wakes up and she's sitting there in a horrible crooked position backwards, staring at him with her eyes all pupils all massive, not blinking. It's so scary, so freaky.
It was one of those movies that had me laying awake all night just frozen in fear, like any move I made might trigger something bad to happen. The movie's a courtroom drama about a Catholic priest who's charged with a negligent homicide after a woman named Emily Rose dies.
That's right, and he does mention the witching hour in it. He says 3 o'clock's when people are most vulnerable because of demons and stuff. He does say it in there, right enough.
During an exorcism he was performing. As the trial goes on, we learn more and more about Emily's story. Her supposed possession starts when she mysteriously begins waking up every night at 3 a.m. sharp, at which point unexplainable things would happen to her. As her possession progresses, a lot of the people trying to help her also start waking up at 3 a.m. and they experience similar strange things. The priest tells us in the courtroom.
It's a common trope within movies that people wake up at 3 o'clock. These things happen at 3 o'clock or between 3 and 4, whatever. But in real life, because this is based on the true story, I do not know if that's what was true. If people were waking up at 3 o'clock, if she was waking up at 3 o'clock, if the other people involved was waking up at 3 o'clock. That could be Hollywood just trying to be Hollywood, taking liberties for a story. Yes, it's based on a true story, but did that happen? I don't know. Could it have been 3 o'clock? Yes. Mightn't it have been some other times? Yes.
That 3 a.m. is a witching hour, and that demons use this time as a way to mock Jesus' death, which occurred at 3 p.m.
Well, that's kind of what I had, obviously. And that's kind of what I see. You know, they'd use it to mock Jesus, like the 33 thing with the Masons. Jesus was allegedly 33 when he was on the cross. So they used the 33 in an inversion, you know?
Shortly after watching The Exorcism
Bastardization, you know?
Of Emily Rose, I watched the newly released 2009 movie The Fourth Kind, which is
we watched that movie as well. Which was based on true events.
A sort of found footage mockumentary horror movie about alien abductions. The movie follows a psychologist in Nome, Alaska, whose patients are all
That was actually Matthew Eastman's choice. Matthew Eastman, I ain't seen him for a little while again. Pops in now and again, but it's really scarce nowadays. Matthew Eastman, hit us up, man. Hit us up. I'm not in Element anymore, so hit us up somewhere, man.
experiencing the same strange symptoms. Eventually, the psychologist herself starts.
There you go. 333. They would have to present all the threes there, wouldn't they? No doubt.
Experiencing these symptoms, she starts having vague memories of dark shapes entering her room every night at 3:33 a.m. The Fourth Kind isn't a good movie, but its horror is really well done.
I'm saying a lot of people do, because that was based on true events. A lot of people do have these paranormal experiences. But the ones that think that it's with aliens and they're being interfered with by aliens and stuff like that, I completely believe it's not aliens. Obviously, it's demons. And if they were doing it at 3:33, that just kind of proves it. An inversion. You know what I mean? So, yes. Demons, not aliens. But I do believe people have them experiences and believe they're aliens. You're seeing aliens, you're seeing demons. I'm afraid. Or you're nuts. One or the other. But these people, not all are lying. Or lying. Not all are lying. Some are telling the truth. They just mistake aliens for demons.
And it certainly had an effect on me that night when I was 14. I'd watched it with my parents while on a trip to our cottage, which was in a forest in the middle of nowhere. And I really mean the middle of nowhere. It was just down the road from one of Canada's dark sky preserves, which is a designated area for stargazing that's completely free of man-made light.
Now, see, that would be pretty freaky. Totally no man-made light about. You know what I mean? So it's good for stargazing. But if you're out there at 3 o'clock a.m. in the morning, no lights, it's going to be freaky. If there's no natural light about and no fake light about, it's going to be freaky.
Needless to say, I went to bed pretty scared that night. It didn't help the place I was in resembled the remote rural setting of the movie. I didn't have trouble falling asleep, but I had a lot of trouble staying asleep. I kept waking up what felt like every few minutes. At one point I woke up,
That wouldn't help. Being in a situation where it's very similar to the movie, like the environment. That would freak you out a little, I suppose.
At the clock and saw that it was 3:10 a.m., the witching hour. I started to get anxious. All the frightening things from Emily Rose and the fourth kind started flooding my head, but I thought if I stayed absolutely still, I might fall back asleep again. It was completely silent in the cottage, and I don't mean normal silence either. It was so quiet that my ears were ringing.
See, there is that type of silence. There is definitely that type of silence where it's so quiet that you have to hear something, you know, so internally you're hearing a ringing. Obviously the ringing's not out there. It's internally you're hearing something. But yeah, the sound of silence, it is a thing. It is a thing. You can certainly hear it. Even though it's not obviously physically audible, it's not a physical hearing. You know, you're hearing it in there. But you can hear that in quiet. I know that experience. I know that feeling.
And under that ringing, I started to hear whispering.
See, that's freaky. Now, I've heard things like that before, but I know it's my imagination, especially when you've had no sleep for a little while, and stuff like that. You know, I haven't had any sleep for a little while. You start thinking stuff. You hear a little. But it's not. It's just your head, and it does scare you. It does scare you. I've had things like that.
I tried to ignore it, but I couldn't help but to focus on it. It remained consistent for about a minute, and then for 2 seconds it ramped up slightly, and then it happened. I heard a woman's voice in the room call my name clear as day. I immediately jumped out of bed and turned on the light, and of course there was no one there.
No, because you're freaking yourself out. You're freaking yourself out. You're hearing whispering because you're thinking about it. So you start hearing your mind will do that. And even the devil will do that. Put little whispers in your head now to make you even more scared. Of course. It can be yourself or the devil. Absolutely. Well, demons, whatever. But it can be yourself, freaking yourself out, definitely. And then you hear whispers. So you're expecting it, and then it goes away. Then you're thinking, oh, well, thank goodness it's away. It won't come back, will it? And then you start freaking yourself out. Oh, no, it might come back. It's gone, thank goodness. But if it comes back, and then you hear, because you're freaking yourself, then you hear a loud voice saying, Farrell, his name. Yes, our imagination can run wild. Absolutely. Also, demons can try and scare you. But it's not always them. I'm not going to give them credit for everything. But yes, our imaginations can run wild. Absolutely.
The whispering stopped, but my heart was pounding. I went to the bathroom to calm down, but I couldn't fall back asleep. This experience was...
I like how he's made the video. He's put the beats in it and all that. That gives you the experience as well. Kind of elevates your own heart rate a bit in understanding what he's feeling.
It's terrifying.
Or
and
felt.
You know what I did after? I didn't tell a single person about it. I thought that if I did, they would just think I'm crazy. So I kept it to myself until now. This night,
that's the thing, they would.
Truly cemented in my mind that 3 a.m. is a bad time. Nowadays, as an adult, I'm not scared of the witching hour anymore, but the thought still lingers somewhere deep in the back of my mind.
Yeah, there is actually times when I still get scared. But it's my imagination. And because I'm sitting here on my own and there's nobody else about. And I've watched a horror or something. Horrors don't scare me anymore, but sometimes they're sneaking thoughts, you know, there's still evil about. So you still get these thoughts. You watch something, it'll put a thought in your head, you hear silence, it's dark, you know, whatever. Of course, you still get scared now and again. Still creeps in. I think about death and it scares me. The act of dying. I think that I'm 50 next year and I'm definitely over half of my life. You know, nothing I can do about it. But yeah, things still scare me.
Today we're going to explore the witching hour in depth. We're going to pick it apart and maybe even try to explain the paranormal encounters this time supposedly facilitates, including mine. But before all that, we got to figure out its history.
Okay, here we go.
Like I said earlier, the witching hour supposedly has its roots in the Catholic Church. In almost every website and article that
Have to get themselves involved in everything, don't they? But that's where a lot of fallacy and heresy comes from. It's things like the Catholic Church, teachings of exorcism, like we're talking about tomorrow night's film. Nobody needs exorcism. That's a ritual. Need deliverance, not exorcisms. So yeah, they've got their hands in everything. Catholicism, not Catholics. Catholicism. Oh, I just put it back to the bloody start. I think we were about 5 minutes in. Oh no, what's yeah, he just started there. There we go.
Supposedly has its roots in the Catholic Church. In almost every website and article that talks about the witching hour, I see a repeated claim that the church apparently banned activities during the hour of 3 to 4 a.m. in 1535.
I didn't know that they actually banned activity in them times. Catholic Church in the 1500s. Wow, the 16th century. That's nuts. That's nuts. That's control. That's control.
It even says this on Wikipedia, but let's check the source. Alright, it takes us to an article on what appears to be a site that sells beds. This site also has a citation for the same claim, but it's a dead link. Let's use the Wayback Machine to see what this source once said. Okay.
I haven't used that Wayback Machine yet. I mean, I know you get it on Internet Archive. I haven't needed to use it for old stuff yet because I never used use the internet back then, so I don't know what was on it to use it for. I mean, if I needed it for research, I would, but I haven't needed to use it. I'll have to have a look at it someday. I use Internet Archive, right?
This appears to be a blog. The term the witching hour was coined in 1560 by Pope John Paul II.
1560, Pope John Paul II. No. Pope John Paul II. Yeah, exactly. I'm saying he's got it up there. Right, he's got to say it. Okay. Pope John Paul II was not in the 1500s.
I think they might have their popes a little mixed up. So I
think so, because I wasn't alive in the 1500s, and I seen Pope John Paul II on TV, of course, not in real life.
Spent way too much time reading about every pope from the 1500s, and none of them said anything about 3 a.m. or the witching hour. In fact, I couldn't find any substantiated source that says anything about any church forbidding activities between 3 and 4 a.m. So it's fair to say that this claim is probably bogus. But that doesn't mean that the witching hour...
More than likely, but they still have their hands in every single pie. Catholicism. And I dare say the Pope, absolutely. I mean, I'm saying nothing against Catholics, but I've definitely got things against the Pope and the popes.
Or wasn't a concept in this time period. The 1599 play Hamlet makes a direct reference to it.
'Tis now the very witching time of night, when
Shakespeare, no doubt.
churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world.
In fact, it can be argued that the Bible itself makes a reference to the...
Well, if you're talking about hell itself, as in the devil, because I think it's thrown in there, like fire on the end. But I think you're thinking it the wrong way. But if you're thinking about stuff that's infernal of hell, like the devil and stuff, then yes, very, very, very bloody evil, obviously. But what has it got to do with the times? You know, they'll come out at any time. They don't need any time. They don't need a specific slot for it to happen, you know? They'll do the demonic work at any time.
Witching hour. Luke 22:53 states, "This is your hour."
Oh, yeah, let me just hear what Shakespeare said again. Well, so-called Shakespeare. That little bit.
Agent to this world.
In fact, it can be argued that the Bible...
Hold on, sorry.
A witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this...
That's it. He said hell itself breathes that contagion. That was my point. I got a bit lost. At 3 a.m., it breathes that contagion. And if you're talking about demonic activity rather than hell itself, and demonic activity, again, I still made the same point. We'll use any time. It's breathing its contagion out all the time, not just at a certain time.
This world.
In fact, it can be argued that the Bible itself makes a reference to the witching hour. Luke 22:53 states, "This is your hour, when darkness reigns." And that's the tricky thing about researching the witching hour. There's no definitive origin to it, yet...
This is your hour, when darkness reigns. Does he say 3 a.m.?
It's been referenced to consistently since antiquity. And there are similar legends in other cultures as well. For example, in Japan, they have the Hour of the Ox, which is a time of night when supernatural creatures are the most active. You can also lay curses on other people during this time as well if
An ox is a supernatural creature. If an ox was a coup, how's that supernatural?
you so choose to. All this makes me think that
Or
the
they
witching
just
hour
referred
might
to the year of the ox. Okay, so I might have had it wrong.
be an innate human concept. And if we're going to make that argument, we're going to have to once again dive into the world of liminal spaces.
Oh, here we go.
I probably don't have to explain what
Liminal space is like a transition from one place to a next. Like an empty transition. It's a transitional period or a transitional place, either physically or emotionally, mentally, intrinsically, whatever. You know, that's what I'd say liminal spaces.
spaces are, considering most of you probably discovered my channel through my liminal space video, but just in case you don't know,
I'll have to check out because liminal space stuff is pretty freaky. I understand the kind of fear. I'm not scared of it. Like if you see the rooms, that talks about liminal spaces. The old YouTube series, The Rooms, The Back Rooms, or whatever it was, and it's like office walls and everything's the same. Like the UV, the lights and the buzzing lights in the ceiling, the doors, everything's the same. And it's like you can't get out of it. It's just doesn't matter where you go. It's all the same walls, all the same doors. Yeah, it does get a little freaky because there's nothing in there, no one in there, and there's a feeling of being followed. You know, so yeah, it does get a bit freaky then. But yeah, liminal space, I suppose, can be freaky. Yeah, because it's like a transitional period or physically a place from one to another, one place to another, or one space to another, or whatever, with kind of nothing in it. So yeah, it can be a bit freaky.
liminal spaces are transitional spaces, but they're also more than that. They can be something that's familiar to us that's been taken out of context. The screenshot of a Rick Astley music video. We're familiar with the music video, but not without Rick Astley in it. With just the background, the tone of the scene.
Yeah, no, that's definitely part of his Rick roll. That's behind him. But yeah, when he's not there, it does look liminal. Like it's a bridge going from one part of the city to another. I suppose, yeah, it's a transitional place. But yeah, bit freaky. I get that.
Is completely different. I think 3 a.m. is the most liminal time of day. It's a time when the things we're familiar with in our daily lives.
Even time, like 3 a.m. in the morning is like a liminal time of day, like you said, it's a liminal space even, because it's a period where everybody's asleep and you're going from when everybody was busy at night through the day to chilling out at night to where everybody's in bed and asleep at 3 a.m. and stuff like that. And it's that's the period there, 3 a.m., where it leads you on to the next day, you know, a transitional period, a transitional place, you know. It's the only way I can explain it, but there you go.
Take on different tones. Spaces we normally don't think twice about occupying suddenly feel more.
Through the day, these would look normal, but at night, at 3 a.m., it does look strange because there's nobody about. Lights are on, but nobody's home as well. You know? Kind of freaky.
More unpredictable or even dangerous. Normally busy places become abandoned. It's a time of night that almost serves no purpose. Pretty much everything is closed, even bars and clubs. The only people who have reason to be out are people who work nights. If you were to be out during this time and you pass someone on the street, would you be suspicious of them? I probably would be, even though if I passed the same person during the day, I wouldn't think twice about it. There's a common theme in the
I suppose. Yeah, that's true. But if I knew the person, obviously I'm not going to be weirded out by him. But if I don't recognize him coming up to him and there's the only person there, I'm the only person there, nobody else is about, it's a place where it's dark, yeah, your mind can run wild. You could be thinking, oh shit, there could be a row going on here. I mean, what if this guy ain't right in that? I mean, and it's dark, nobody's about, things could happen, can't see his face. But if you can see him from a distance and you know you're not going to be freaked. But even if it's someone you know, but don't know too well, and you see them and you recognize them, you don't know them that well. So your mind can play tricks on you and think, oh, it could be helping you out and making you aware that or there's a possibility here that you don't know this guy too well. He could have a bad side, you know? So you never know. So I understand the fear side of this liminal thing, definitely. And if you meet someone at this time compared to through the day.
Liminal space community of places at night, such as schools, beaches, gas stations, and forests. There's nothing particularly interesting about these locations except for the fact that they're places we normally only experience during the day. I think school is probably the most common example I see, and for good reason. I'm sure most people have at least one memory of being in school at night and thinking about how eerie it is.
I mean, that's in movies and that as well, but I used to think that even before I'd ever been in school at night, because I have been in school at night where it's totally empty, totally dark, everything's locked and all that stuff. Nobody's about. I have been there. I've been there, and it is freaky, especially when you're a kid. Even as a teenager, and it was a big school. I'm from a small town in Scotland, but the school we had, a lot of people went to. It's a massive school. It's one of the biggest in Europe, I think. Well, I was told that at one point. I haven't checked that out, so I don't know. Secondary school. But yeah, I've been there and it is freaky. But I remember before I'd ever experienced that, thinking it. Can you imagine being here at night? That'd be so strange, you know? Completely different experience. And when I have experienced it, in more than one occasion, it is completely different. It is strange.
Now, I want you to take that memory you have and move the time back from 8 or 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. How would this space change? You would probably be the only person in the building. Even janitors wouldn't be around that late. And there wouldn't be anyone outside the school either. There wouldn't be any cars, pedestrians. You would be the only one out of the house. Now, if you live in the center of a huge city or something, then I'm sure there'd probably still be people out doing stuff, but maybe not in every case. This video here shows us the busiest tourist destination.
What's that saying? Even back there at Times Square, almost nothing was going on. Yeah, wow. I mean, even Times Square, I suppose, would look liminal at that time of night. I mean, there's a lot of light and stuff, but yeah, it would look liminal. It'd be freaky.
Destination on the entire continent at 3 a.m. and it's almost completely deserted. Remember that this is how Times Square normally looks. Look, we can talk about how different and liminal 3 a.m. is until...
I like how he's doing it. How the time's just going on and going on. I mean, there's no way he did it in one setting. He's obviously setting the time and all that stuff. But yeah, it'd be good if he did do it that way. If he managed to set it up so he could sit there and when I get it all done. But then edit another bit, so that would have been cool. But I dare say he'd be setting that clock.
The witching hour is over, but I think to truly grasp it, we have to go and experience this time for ourselves. Okay, so we're
he's going out in the streets himself, right? Got you.
in the sort of like busiest area in my suburb.
And it's obviously not meant to be at the same time. He was sitting in the house because it's 3 or 4. He's 3:30 and he's sitting in the house, and we knew he was sitting there at 3 or 4 because he was. We've seen that.
And it's like completely.
It's called investigation. It's called Farrell. Sherlock Holmes. I'm the messing guy.
Deserted. I don't know if you guys can see, but there is basically no one here. Even if you come here at like midnight, 1 a.m.
I mean, seeing it empty in the background, even a bit of light there, nobody there, even one car, which is probably is there. Hearing him talking and knowing he's there, it still seems a little liminal. Yeah, a little freakiness going on. Definitely.
There'll be some people, you know. There's a few bars here, and even those close at 2 a.m. At 3 a.m., there's just nothing. On September 8th, 2005, on this very road at 3 a.m., a woman named Jennifer Teague was walking home from this very plaza. We don't really know too much about what happened next, but Jennifer unfortunately never made it home that night, and her parents report her as missing the next day.
Wow.
Now, Jennifer's missing persons case was...
Lord, I just pray that you're still with our parents. Well, obviously, if the parents are about, I mean, that you're comforting them. Because obviously something terrible happened. Pray that you be with them, Lord, continually. In Jesus' name. Amen.
one of the most famous, not just in Ottawa history, but in Canada's history. It made international headlines for 10 days. Until they unfortunately found her body in a park pretty close to here. Now, what made Jennifer's case so...
I kind of thought that would have been the case. Wow. It's a fallen world, like I say. It's a fallen world.
So infamous. Firstly, is because she was the first murder to ever happen in this district since its inception. But it's not just that. She went missing on Jockville Road. Now,
First ever murder since its inception. That must have been like quite a very new place then, surely. Surely, if there's only been one there.
this road during the day is super busy. It's a through road. If you were to come here during rush hour, you would see cars backed up sometimes like the entire length of this road. So the idea that someone can actually go missing on this road is just kind of unthinkable. But at 3 a.m., the world is just different. Okay, so you might be wondering, did they ever solve Jennifer's murder? And the answer is yes, they did, in a really unusual way. So, about a year after the crime in 2006, a man named Kevin Davis decided to take some magic mushrooms. He then went out to Fallowfield Road, which is a road not too far from here. He got out in the middle of the road, was blocking traffic. He took off all his clothes and started screaming at the top of his lungs, "It was me! I did it! I killed her!" The police picked him up and naturally they asked, "Who'd you kill, Kevin?" And Kevin said, "Nobody. I was just high on magic mushrooms. I didn't even know what I was saying." So the police let him go. They didn't have any evidence, but they marked him as a suspect.
You know, this rings a bell. This rings a bell. I wonder if he's got to show any clips of it. Clips of anybody.
That didn't matter though, because shortly after, Kevin went back to the police station and confessed everything. He had killed Jennifer Teague for basically no reason. He just wanted to kill.
That's what rings the bell, that he confessed to it. That's what I was going to say. It's the same guy. Let's see if we see any pics of him.
Kill someone. So, the moral of the story is, drugs are good. They make you into an honest person.
He doesn't actually really mean that. But they can be good, yeah, of course.
Alright, so I was thinking, what else can I actually do at 3 a.m. that's not just walking around outside? And unfortunately, my options are pretty slim. I could go to like McDonald's or something, but I kind of don't want to go to McDonald's.
I literally just went to the shop before I started this video. And that was after 3, that was like 3:40-ish. I went to the shop just up the road, so you can't go to the shop and stuff. There's still stuff to do. But yeah, and actually, when I'm going up the street there as well, there's no street lights down my part for some reason. Down our end when I get to the main road, you know. So like it's pitch black out there, so it's even freakier, you know. But you know, I'm used to it. I'm used to it. I'm brave. I promise.
So I was looking it up, and apparently all the bagel shops are open 24 hours a day for some reason. So
is that how you say it? I think he's Canadian, but bagel. I thought it was bagel. But everybody says things differently. I would say bagel.
So, yeah, let's go get a bagel.
I have heard people saying bagel. So, yeah, people say things a lot differently. Especially me. I'm Scottish.
Bagel. Better get some cream cheese for Carolina.
Oh, he's muted. Copyrighted music. He's obviously monetized then. Obviously.
Probably gonna have to mute most of that, unfortunately, because I'm pretty sure that was some very copyrighted music. But we got our bagels and cream cheese, so that's cool. That's something you can do at 3 a.m.
Yay! Yay for bagels and cream cheese at 3 a.m.
Okay. Let's try a bagel at 3 a.m.
Wow, so loud.
This guy only gave me 2. Did he charge me for 2? Let me check. Okay, so he did only charge me for...
We got 200, nearly quarter million subscribers. Yeah. I know you shouldn't be overcharged, obviously, but don't mind if you are. Nah, it won't be fair. It doesn't matter how rich you are, but still, come on, you can afford it.
too, but yeah, that's kind of frustrating. I didn't really want a whole wheat bagel, but beggars can't be choosers at 3 a.m. It's still great. I mean, these bagels are like crack. You know?
Really? Do people love bagels that much? I mean, I like a bagel now and again, but I wouldn't say they're like crack. I mean, I know what it's like to be a crackhead. I wouldn't say they're like crack that can be that good at the like crack. I only like a bagel now and again. It's not like I would crave one.
There's not really a whole lot left I can do at 3 a.m., I think, so let's go back home.
So what was the point of it? I suppose you see in the streets empty and all that, liminally. But it's still meant to be. Still should have stuck it out a little bit, I suppose. See what. Mind you, there's nothing going on. I get it, but I don't see the point in that. You could have spoke that, showed pictures or whatever. It's his video.
Okay. Alright, so it was Puff Daddy. Interesting. Hey, look, I gotta go. I'm filming a YouTube video. I don't really have time to explain it, but we'll talk later, okay? Alright, yeah, sounds good. Bye. Sorry, guys. I was just calling Tupac at 3 a.m.
Oh, do you guys remember these? Back in the day, like, I don't know, mid 2015, 2010, 2015, people doing the 3 a.m. challenge. Like, people had died, passed on, whatever, that type of thing. They say, I'm contacting this person at 3 a.m. You know what I mean? It's always a 3 a.m. challenge. I remember this. I think there was a YouTuber that did it, Jay something. He got banned off YouTube. You know what I mean? After a while, he ended up like he used to do it with people who were dead and all that, make these streams, these videos every day. And eventually one day they pretended that his girlfriend had died. So then the night after him being all upset and everything, he did one of these 3 a.m. challenges to contact his dead girlfriend. And he ended up getting banned. Can't remember his name. It's Jay something. I'm sure it's Jay. You might mention it. Hopefully, because this is this type of people that did it.
Remember this trend? It was everywhere back in the late 2010s.
Literally, there he is. That's the guy I'm on about.
Even searching for it now, it seems to still be around in some capacity. These videos don't really amount to anything more than clickbait for children, but they bring up an interesting question.
Children's things, it's clickbait. Jake Paul did it, where I pretended to get kidnapped. And all these people were like, let Jake Paul go. And now look at him, pretending to be a boxer.
Why is it always 3 a.m.? Why not 2 a.m. or 4 a.m.? Well, there's a pretty good passage from Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury that...
Hold on, take it back. It's J Station. I'm sure it just said J Station.
Or 4 a.m.
Right. Well, there, look. That's the guy there. Yeah, I'm J Station. Re-uploaded videos. That's his name. J Station, or I'm J Station. I think his channel was just called J Station. I don't know. It might have been I'm J Station, but I thought his name was J of some sort. That's him there. He was the main one for doing it. He got banned in the end. He can't come back on YouTube.
Well, there's a pretty good passage from Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury that sums it up well.
Midnight's not bad. You wake up and go back to sleep. 1 or 2's not bad. You toss but sleep again. 5 or 6 in the morning, there's hope, for dawn's just under the horizon. But 3, now Christ, 3 a.m. Doctors say the body's at low tide then. The soul is out. The blood moves slow. You're nearest to dead you'll ever be, save dying. Sleep is a patch of death, but 3 in the morning.
Oh, wow. That's one way of looking at it. You're nearest to dead except dying. Nearest to dead you'll ever be, bar dying. I suppose that's one way of looking at it.
Wide-eyed staring is living death. You dream with your eyes open. You lay pinned to a deep well bottom that...
Done that, been paralyzed, dreaming with my eyes open, seeing the real world and the dream world at the same time, not being able to move, anything but my head. I've had that, it's like sleep paralysis thing, dreaming and being awake at the same time. But I've also I've felt that kind of same feeling, but with demon.
It's burned dry. The moon rolls by to look at you down there with its idiot face. It's a long way back to sunset, a far way on to dawn.
We've talked a lot about how the world is different at 3 a.m., but we haven't really discussed how our world is different at this time. We're not out and about, we're in our bed sleeping. For most people, our only experience with this time period comes from accidentally waking up. And I think this unintentional awakening in particular is
For most people, true. Me, I'm always awake to sleep, but for most people, yeah, that's true.
where the witching hour truly originates from. You're walking outside, but slowly reality starts to fade into a warm darkness. You realize that you're waking from a dream. You're awake now, but with your eyes still closed, you can almost keep the dream going. But every moment it gets further and further away. You open your eyes, but something is wrong. You try to move your arms, but nothing happens.
This is what I'm talking about. Oh, horrible feeling. Horrible feeling.
You feel a great weight pressing on your chest, and you can barely breathe. As your eyes focus on the room around you, you notice a dark figure standing in the corner, and it starts to move closer.
Even with the demon one, I've never seen any dark figure. I felt the presence of evil there when being paralyzed, but never seen a figure. But felt as though there'd be one there. But I've also had sleep paralysis as well.
Panic washes over you as your heart begins to beat quickly, but then you blink and the figure is gone. You regain control of your body, you take a sip of water. What just happened? This is how a typical episode of sleep paralysis plays out. You see, when you dream, your body paralyzes itself, so, you're not walking in your bed.
Well, that's true. Your body paralyzes itself, so you're not acting out your dreams, I suppose. Because, I suppose that's what sleepwalkers do. That doesn't tend to kick in, I suppose. Something like that.
Sleep paralysis happens when you regain consciousness while dreaming, but your body doesn't awaken in time. It stays paralyzed, and the chemicals that make you dream are still flooding your head, which leads to usually one of two kinds of hallucinations. People usually either hallucinate dark figures standing in the room around them, or they hallucinate a dark figure sitting on their chest. The former can be used as an explanation for...
Sorry, but that's not always a hallucination. It could be sleep paralysis and dreams and all that, but yes, there's a certain thing where it is demon possession or demons messing about with you. Absolutely. I think so. I felt the difference. They're both scary, but there's a difference.
Many alien abduction experiences, and the latter can be used to explain demonic encounters, particularly with succubi and incubi.
Incubus, succubus, yeah. Obviously, the sexual demons.
The interesting thing is, you don't necessarily need to have a sleep paralysis episode to experience these sorts of hallucinations. In the average sleep schedule, 3 a.m. corresponds with the peak of melatonin in your body, and is also when REM sleep is happening. REM sleep, or rapid eye movement sleep, is a part of the sleep cycle where your body truly gets its rest, and it's also when dreams occur. Sudden awakening from the sleep cycle can cause what's known as a hypnagogic hallucination, which is when you're consciously awake.
Hypnagogic. Hypnagogic. Wow, good word.
But your brain is still trying to make you dream. It usually only lasts for a couple minutes. This is most likely what happened to me when I was 14. I had awoken from REM sleep and experienced a hypnagogic hallucination. And it's not the only time it's happened to me.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
When I was 19 and 20, I fell into a bad habit of using Benadryl or diphenhydramine as a sleep aid. I would take 2 pills every night, and my sleep schedule was awful too. I
remember having something like, not Benadryl, but it was a medicine of one sort. And it's tablet form, but you got it in liquid form as well. And I took too much, and I was really, really by the wasted. It was just collapsing with pure I couldn't hold myself, and I lay in the bed, and it was there was hallucinations, and everything was kind of robotic, but it wasn't like seeing things. It was seeing colors and distorting stuff and feeling really weird, but no seeing things as such. And it might have been the same drug as that Benadryl. I don't know. Not sure.
College, and most of my classes were late in the day, so I would go to bed at 3 a.m. and wake up at noon. Benadryl is great at getting me to fall asleep, but it also disrupts your sleep cycle. It greatly increases your risk of having parasomnias, which is a blanket term to describe sleep issues like hypnagogic hallucinations, sleep paralysis.
I would try and stay away from stuff that would make me experience that. It's not a nice feeling.
Sleepwalking, etc. Every time I would wake up in the middle of the night after taking Benadryl, I would see some wild stuff. Usually it would be things from my dreams somehow morphing themselves into my room, but there was one thing in particular I will never forget. One night, I was just falling asleep when I opened my eyes and I saw an old man floating only a couple inches.
Oh, that would screw up a bit, wouldn't it? Seeing an old dude. Ooh, see when I shrunk that? Ooh. Ooh. You see the lines kind of contract and go thicker. But anyway, yeah, no, that would freak you out if you woke up, just opened your eyes and there was an old man floating over the top of you. Wow.
Above me. I was so zonked out from the Benadryl that I didn't even react to it. I just closed my eyes tight, and when I reopened them, he was gone. Don't take Benadryl to sleep. There's a lot of data out there about how bad it can be, not just for your sleep, but for your overall brain health as well. If you need a sleep...
Not medical advice, guys. Not medical advice at all.
Just use melatonin and don't use it every night. Address the root cause why you can't get to sleep. For me, I just had to cut back on coffee. And you know what? If you see or hear
May work for him. Still not medical advice.
anything weird after waking up at 3 a.m. like I did, it's probably not demons or aliens, it's just your brain playing.
No, yes, your brain can play tricks with you, but just because that happens, it doesn't mean to say people do not experience demons. Yes, there is no aliens, but there's certain things as demons. But people have these experiences without doubt and do think they're aliens. Some are lying, some are deluded, some are ill, some are telling the truth, but don't know what it is. Some are actually know it's demons rather than aliens. Definitely. So, yes, these things definitely happen, but I would stress that the demon activity happens as well that causes stuff like this.
Tricks on you. In fact, some people use these hallucinations as a way to enter a lucid dream, but that's a whole other video. My point is, 3 a.m. is a weird time of the day, but as long as you're home in bed, you're probably safe. Just don't call Tupac at 3 a.m. Thanks for watching.
There you go. There we go. That's that done. Again, yeah, nice little reaction to that. I think that was pretty interesting. But yeah, one of them. It is something I've heard of. Like I said, demons don't need a time to come out. They'll do their stuff anytime. But I do agree that it's a time you might feel a bit more scared, and I can understand why people think it. But again, it said they're introduced by Catholic Church, whatever. Could be true. Do not know. And we do know that the bad people out there use it as an inversion, that type of thing. But there's nothing to be scared of at 3 in the morning. At all. No more than there is anything else. You know what I mean? There's demon-wise. If they're going to attack, they're going to attack at any time. If you got Christ, nothing to worry about. Bless you guys. Love yous. Quickly again, I will show you his channel. This is it. I'll put the link in afterwards. Farrell McGuire, it was him. This is the video we did. This one here, the 3 a.m. one there. Lexi's got lots more there that I won't mind doing. I have to do as a stream one day. Trauma. This broadcast gave viewers clinical PTSD. Save that one. So we'll have to check that out. Whatever it is. Clinical PTSD from a broadcast. Oh, that was the ghost hunters thing in the UK. People believed it. We'll have to do that one day. Definitely. I think we did something little on it before, but this is probably a bit better. Probably do that. There's loads of stuff. Yeah, we'll have to check it out sometime. Definitely. Put his link in the description, guys, just in case you want to sub to him. But there it is. Bless yous. Thanks for watching. I'll get this out as quickly as possible. Here the Sunset's free. Makes free. It's free indeed. Ta-da.